Spokane Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick says she is ready to step down as the city's top cop.
In a letter to Spokane Mayor Mary Verner, the chief said she'll wrap up her last day in office on January 2nd. From her first days in office, the chief was very upfront with the public, explaining that her stay in Spokane was part of her 5-year plan. Kirkpatrick told her new bosses she was going to work hard to improve the police department, but that she reserved the right to move on to a bigger city if that opportunity ever presented itself. Now the chief is keeping true to her word, but her retirement, it may have come hurried up by a pair of recent court fights that her both personally and professionally really affected her.
I think for the chief, she feels like this is good timing for her, and she's going to be moving forward with that. And as a city, we respect her decision, and we're going to move forward as best we can to fill that position with the best person possible.
Now, in her retirement email Kirkpatrick sent to her staff today, the chief alluded to Officer Carl Thompson's recent conviction, saying, "When I joined the SPD back in the summer of 2006, I had committed to stay 5 years and work to see the Zem issue come to conclusion. Some legal issues remain with the Zem case, but we have seen a significant step toward resolution, and I expect more issues to be resolved before I leave." Well, Carl Thompson's conviction in federal court wasn't the only disappointment for the chief during her last years in office. And KXLY4's Jeff Humphrey joins us now to explain how other recent events may have influenced the chief's decision to leave. Jeff?
Nadine, it's a combination of factors that has left the chief as demoralized as her rank-and-file officers. It has to do with election results as well as a pair of stunning defeats for the chief in court.
I'm a cop first.
Yes, ma'am. When Chief Ann Kirkpatrick came to Spokane 5 years ago, she put a fresh, friendly face on the police department. Kirkpatrick was approachable and instantly popular with the public, who perceived her as a no-nonsense leader. Her cardinal rule, "You lie, you die," struck a chord with people looking for truth in law enforcement.
No gangs, no criminal activity is going to be allowed to be tolerated. So I meant what I said when I spoke to you earlier this week, and this is just, again, an example of being true to what we've said.
The chief was tough on crime. However, behind the scenes, Kirkpatrick was also apparently tough on her own people, alienating herself from the rank and file.
She claimed he was suicidal, homicidal, and dangerous, and she did it without a lick of evidence to do it.
In October, the chief was sued for hastily firing one of her detectives after he was accused of threatening his wife. Jay Mehring claimed the chief used her power to retaliate against him when Mehring was acquitted.
She was planning on using Spokane as a stepping stone in her career to move on to another place.
Mehring's attorneys say the chief's heavy-handed discipline was part of her plan to make a name for herself, a complaint echoed by the Police Guild. Last week, a Spokane jury believed Mehring and awarded him $700,000 in damages.
We ask you here this morning for this news briefing to talk frankly about the AutoZem matter.
Even though Kirkpatrick was not in office when AutoZem died after a confrontation with police, her support of Officer Carl Thompson put her at odds with her assistant chief, who said the use of force was not justified. The controversy became a political liability for Mayor Mary Verner, who tonight continues to trail her opponent in votes. Kirkpatrick had planned to stay on in Spokane for a while and help Verner pick a new chief. Tonight, it appears that decision will be left up to David Condon. And tonight we are already seeing shifts in the police department leadership. Ann Kirkpatrick has now appointed Major Scott Stevens as acting assistant chief, and he could become the acting chief when Kirkpatrick leaves Spokane on January 2nd. Jeff Humphrey, KXLY4.